Another great pike pulled out of the cabbage. Stay tuned for some spinnerbait tips and more pike and musky action.
Nice pike caught on the spinnerbait.
Sure, fishing the edges of a cabbage patch like this will get some action, but you really got to get inside there. The only bait that can do that is a spinnerbait. You're going to get hooked up on weeds every once in a while. That's part of the price of fishing that kind of stuff. But even then, you're going to draw those muskies and pike out of that cabbage. Once you know where they are, you can come back and get them. After running this spot under calm conditions, back on it now with a breeze, hopeful for a bite.
Fish on. Fish on. Not sure what it is yet. Nice musky. Nice little musky. Whew, maybe a high 30s or something, I think. Cute little guy. I'll let her go. And she's ready. There she goes.
Not sure if you can see it, but there's some cabbage right in there. Cabbage there. Basically, you got to work it right into that. Your lure right into that cabbage in order to draw them out of there. It's got a little musky caught on this clacker. It's kind of a buzz bait that you can run on the surface or drop it into the water. I was just pulling it through a cabbage patch and this musky hit. A little low 30s, beautiful little musky. Cut a couple tines off that one just to make it a little easier on myself and on the fish for sure. And in a pretty good sized cabbage patch here. It seems to be where the muskies and the pike seem to be hanging out. I think if you find cabbage at this time of year, you're gonna find some fish. So stuck with the plan and fish some more cabbage. Tried a spot where I saw a fish. Wasn't sure whether it was a pike or a musky. Turned out it was a musky. It came right out of the cabbage. Bit this spinnerbait. Came right out of the cabbage and bit this spinnerbait. Marabou, used to be marabou, but now it's kind of worn out. Fish put up a pretty good fight. Fortunately, I don't think I got on GoPro, but heck of a fight and pretty easy release with a spinnerbait. When I find some muskies in a spot where there's some cabbage or rocks, I always fish the grass and pencil reeds nearby. These often also hold cabbage patches and therefore hold some muskies and pike as well.
Fish on. Pike. Big pike.
Nice pike this morning on a spinnerbait. Get her back in. Nice pike this morning on a spinnerbait. BWB. Nice spinnerbait with a big single hook on there. Fortunately, yesterday I had a musky about the same size going around on a figure 8. Bit about 4 times, but it kept biting the blades. I couldn't get hooking it. Felt sorry for it after a while there actually. Then I caught some weeds and it was just staring at the spinnerbait, so it's pretty interesting. So a quick note about these spinnerbaits. Obviously any spinnerbait's excellent for fishing into the weeds. You can cast right into the weeds. You're not going to get hung up too badly. You can usually shake it off with a good pull. And the other beauty of them is when you just have the single hook on the back. Fishing solo, really easy to release the fish. When you have a couple of trebles on a big bucktail, it can be a bit of a nightmare if you're by yourself. You got to cut hooks and stuff like that, especially if it gets it down deep. Usually they're on the outside of the corner of the mouth with these, not in the corner of the mouth, but in the, you know, not deep in the throat or anything like that typically. So another reason why I like spinnerbaits. Not the greatest for hooking fish though, as I had experience with that figure 8 fish. But pros and cons, pretty much when you're fishing weeds, a lot of pros. Musky number 4 on the same spot. I don't think I got this one on film, but another beauty. I'll let her go. Sometimes you got to try these isolated patches of weeds. This was a little cove and ouch, I really screwed that up. Getting tired, need to take a break and come back and give it another visit. Taking a midday break here in my camper. Yeah, it's pretty freaking hot out, so I need a bit of a rest, refresh. Had a hard morning of fishing. Fished a lot of traditional stuff, rocks on points and saddles, little islands. All of kind of really good looking stuff, a normal Canadian shield type of habitat, but not seeing many muskies there. Then started hitting some weedy stuff. Some cabbage patches, started seeing some pike, and then caught a nice big one. Then caught a musky. Caught a musky yesterday in the cabbage and saw a couple other ones. And then just before I took a break here, saw a musky in sort of a weedy bay. Fortunately, my lure got all tangled up in some weeds and then kind of screwed that up, but we'll give that fish a try again and then look for some more in the same habitat. So we'll check it out. So I came back to that pocket again. Spot here are some little mini lily pads, I call them. It's got some scrub weed, a little bit of mixed cabbage, grass. Pretty nasty stuff, but it is holding some muskies obviously, and I seen one, a smaller one actually, just as I came into this bay, not the one I had before. You can see how effective this spinnerbait is. It's just wickedly good at going through that those weeds.
Got one. Got one. Another big girl. Look at that sucker. They're low 40s.
Actually, the first cast had a muskie come and look at the bait I was throwing, which was actually catching too many weeds, so I switched over to a spinnerbait, working a lot better with staying snagless. Probably my 10th cast, hooked into a great muskie. It's one I've seen before here. Sort of the same scenario. I was using something that got a bunch of weeds, and I was dragging it in, and it came following in, and afterwards looked like the same fish, about the same size, a little bit over 40 probably. Whew, is that exciting. Just love it. Not something I normally would think I would fish. It's kind of tough to fish this kind of mini sort of lily pad structure here, but they're in it. There probably isn't much else for them to hide in, and they seem to really like this little spot because I've seen 2 here now. We'll keep at it. Fishing that same kind of habitat. Scrub weeds, a little bit of lily pads, cabbage. This muskie takes a swipe at it, misses, and then we get it to come around on a big couple figure 8s here, but no cigar.
There's a fish. Got it. I don't know what it is. Could be a pike. Yeah, it's a pike. It's a pike. It's a nice pike. Oh, what a nice muskie. That was a nice muskie.
So my reaction to that fish is I think it missed it entirely, perhaps intentionally. I'm not really trying to fish for it here, more like seeing if there's another one in the spot. And in fact, when I went down a little farther, I did actually encounter another small muskie. I'm going to give this fish a break and come back with something different. Just had a decent muskie swipe at my spinnerbait there. Might hit the blades, I think, or definitely didn't get any hooks in it. Didn't get stung, so I'm going to give it a try with something else. Fished for about like 15 minutes, a little bit farther down this way here. Caught a muskie here in the same spot actually. And so we'll see what happens.
Got it. Got her. Wow, it flipped on the other side of the boat. Yeah. I got that son of a gun.
Well, I got that girl there I missed. Put on double eights, and she came and crushed her right beside the boat. Unreal fight. She went right underneath the boat and then jumped on the other side of the boat. I got lucky it didn't go into the motor or the trolling motor. Unreal. Got her back underneath the boat, and bit of a struggle to net her. Got her in the net and cut the 2 tines off that were in her mouth, just in the inside of the mouth. Just picked them out now, and we're gonna have a quick measure because it's a decent size one. I'm not too familiar with these fish. They're a little long, but a little skinny for what I'm used to, but they're super long. So we'll see how long she is, but she's a pretty girl. Look at this. Look at this girl. That's a nice fish. Get her on the board. She's a 44. She's wanting to go, I think. Let's see what she does. Yeah, there she goes. Excellent. Well, that right there is why musky fish. Super exciting. There's no other fish that can do stuff like that. Just crushed it beside the boat. Not scared of the boat. That's one of those only fish that does that kind of thing. And then she got some air on the other side. I'm not sure if the camera at the back picked that up, but it was just crazy. Unreal. And so fortunate to get her in there, and lucky hooked well in a good spot, and she released really well. I'm gonna make this my wrap up. It was an excellent trip. Caught muskies every day, and pretty neat place. Really like this place here. And spinnerbaits definitely got the action as far as seeing fish, getting in there and into the cabbage, kind of rustle them out of there. And even this fish here got it out of some nasty stuff there with little cattails and bulrushes and some small lily pads. Really can't cast a bucktail in there. But she was on the outside edge, and then she came rushing in and crushed that 8 beside the boat. Super cool.
Oh, got one. Oh, got off. Wow. Wow. Wow, that was cool.